We're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave.
Yeah, that's right. We're having a heat wave. It's the Late Late Show with Patdees72, and welcome to Saturday night. I don't know how it is in your part of the country, but it's hot and sticky here in the Poconos in Pennsylvania. But I guess it beats shoveling snow. Um, Tonight we have a special guest. Harlan is along with us, and we have our usual suspects, Jason and Eric. Jason will be here in a couple minutes, and Craig is also along with us. Um, we're gonna talk about a bunch of things. Harlan's going to eBay Open. We're gonna talk about what he does as far as auctions and all the different things. You know, the common bond that we all have is that we're resellers. I think Harlan, though, is the only person in the group right now that has also a full-time job and does reselling. So we'll start out with Jason's not here right now, so we'll start out with Eric and introduce yourself and your channel. And
my name's Eric. I'm the Nameless Picker. Nameless Picker at YouTube. I'm primarily an eBay seller. I've been selling for full-time since 2014, part-time since 98. I sell everything.
Literally.
Yep. That's pretty much what I do. Primarily, actually, eBay is my only outlet, except for I do also live auctions, live online auctions out of my garage. So.
And Craig?
Hey, my name is Craig. Landshark Picker is my name on the YouTubes. Here in Alabama, good bit southern of those in the North Alabama. I sell on eBay, Amazon, Facebook Marketplace, source all the typical places. So.
Okay, and I'm going to let Harlan go last because he is our special guest, and I really appreciate him taking the time to come on tonight because he is flying out tomorrow to Las Vegas. So I'm interfering with his sleep tonight, so I really appreciate him taking the time. I'm Patdees. I sell on eBay, Amazon. I do Instacart, and I am a landlord and / property manager. So that's what I do to make a living now. And YouTube is for fun right now, but trying to build it up and expand on it and do these shows to put out knowledge and do different videos. I wanted to bring Harlan on, like I said, because he does something unique that I didn't realize. I saw him. Me and Harlan have talked. He's good friends with Scott, the Bearded Picker. And I've seen him on the shows, and we've been on, I think, a panel once or twice, and we talk back and forth. And he does something unique. But let's Harlan explain what he does and introduce himself.
Yeah, I'm Harlan from Harlan's Reselling Adventures. I have a full-time job, sell part-time, and I sell on eBay, some on Amazon, and like Pat said, I sell a lot of stuff at the local online auction, which I'm in Huntsville, Alabama, and I sell in southern Tennessee is where I take all my stuff.
Now, Harlan, do you sell on eBay at all?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now, and how long have you been selling on eBay?
Yeah, it's probably 10 or 15 years, just on and off mainly, but I've picked it up more in the past couple of years.
Okay. Now, is there a certain niche that you sell that you like to, or are you? I know when you do the videos, with Scott, and you guys go out and do garage sales and stuff. It's a lot of that's for fun, but and showing some of the things you get. But why don't you tell the viewers some of the stuff that you really like to, and then kind of go into detail, maybe some of your best finds and stuff like that.
I don't really have a certain kind of thing I look for. I think. If you're a reseller and if you're really going to, expand and go full time, you can't just focus on like video games or something. You really need to get as good as you can across the board. Some of my best finds have actually been books. I found, a estate sale. I found a book for $1, sold for $2.50. I found another book for $5, sold for $300. So
now, Harlan, I'm curious. What those two books that you give an example, like what kind of books were they? I mean, and the reason I'm asking is for people to kind of, they always say the bolo, be on the lookout, but these don't sound like average books. Like
No, they're not. Huntsville, Alabama is a very high-tech city. We have NASA. We have the Army here, Redstone Arsenal. Werner von Braun, he was in Huntsville building the rockets and stuff. So the book that I sold for $250 was a book, I don't know, probably 2 inches thick, and it was given out at his 50th birthday party. So there was probably not a lot of those books out there. I sold one of those for $250.
Didn't you get that at an estate sale?
I did.
I thought so. I
Picked
remember
it up
seeing
for
pictures of that before. It was one of the listings.
Picked it up for $1, and then the $5 book I picked up was a book by John Wayne Gacy, the clown killer, and it was a book that he wrote, and there was 2 versions of this book. One of them was autographed and it was like serial numbered up to 1,000. And then the one that I had was it had a thing in the front. It said, "Thank you for buying my book and reading my side of the story," and he had signed it. So anyway, that one sold for $300. So yeah, very, very specialty type books.
That's cool.
Also an estate sale find.
Yeah, I remember looking at the estate sale pictures with Dusty one day, and I remember seeing that book in that estate sale. So
It's funny. Dusty actually found the same book in Huntsville.
Yeah.
So Dusty sold one of those also.
Wow.
So that's one of those books you were just going to find here since Werner von Braun lived in Huntsville.
Yep.
You made a really good point, Harlan, talking about, to be successful full time, you have to have those, odd things sometimes. You can't just pick up the home runs and things like that. And that's one of the challenges I had coming from part time to full time, was getting to that point of, you're going to pick up those onesie twosie items, that are kind of store fillers and stuff.
Yep.
Hey, Harlan, is it
Yeah.
just me, or are you in a different room now?
No, I changed the stuff in the back.
Oh, because there used to be a table there, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, and you put up shelving. Oh, okay.
My brother told me I needed to step up my game. So
From a table to a shelf.
yep.
Okay.
It looks a little better.
Hey, Jason, why don't you introduce yourself? I have a little issue with light that I'm adjusting, so I'll be right there. The door was open, and so just introduce who you are, what you do.
Sure. While Pat's having technical difficulties, let me introduce myself. I am Jason Banana Finds, and I occasionally sell stuff on eBay full time. And I don't know, that's about it. Welcome to the show.
You sell bananas?
Sell everything.
Nice. So did somebody need to put air quotes around the lighting problem he was having?
I don't know what a lighting problem is. That mean the power's off?
What happened was, before we went live on the show, I was last night when I came home. I was in Ohio for a couple days, out doing storage units with What the Hells. And when I had come home yesterday,
Well, I don't even get an invite. Don't even get a call. Nothing.
well,
Come to my state.
You don't have enough subs to get that call.
Apparently.
no, that's not true at all, because me and Eric and Jason are going to hang out next month, and I've already hung out with Eric, but
Next month.
and every Saturday, who am I hanging with? Eric and Jason.
Yeah. That's okay. Keep talking.
Anyways, what
Talk
happened
is
was
cheap.
I left the key in the ignition, and I came in, got on the computer, then lay down, fell asleep, and they said the lights were on. So instead of they didn't realize I left the key in it, and well, guess what? The battery died. So they came home. My son came home and left the garage door open. As soon as I started the show, there was a bunch of gnats here, all at the lighting by the computer, and I'm here like, hitting like, what the heck, get out of here, you know. So that was the technical difficulties I was having. I apologize. I was actually, I don't know how far you were away, Eric, from where I was.
I don't know where you were at. You didn't tell me.
I was out in Akron.
Yeah, it's about 2 hours.
Yeah, I was out there all day with them at the storage units at 11 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night, because then we had done a show on Storage Auction Pirate. And then I stayed overnight because I only had 3.5 hours sleep in about a day and a half. And then on the way home, I stopped and saw Jordan, DG Picker. You know, because it was on the way. So don't think I
2 hours. It's not like I didn't drive like 2 hours today to pick up some stuff. That's all right. You know.
Oh my God, Jason, he's more needy than you.
If you're not careful, Pat, you may have to ship him a bottle of blueberry bourbon.
Blueberry, oh, that's all right. Is it only like $5?
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, if that will keep him happy, that's what I'll do. I see Scott the Bearded Pickers here. Yes, let me real quick, and we're going to get into talking to Harlan about these auctions and stuff. But let me get into real quick, just kind of saying there's 43 people in the room right now. Who's all here? Kimberly's here now. Kimberly and Anita is going to be back next week. Sometimes with her kids and the ladies having to take care of kids, they can't always join us. But they, of course,
kind of a sexist remark.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just saying that's what they tell me.
Got to take care of the kids, like the guys can't take care of the kids too.
Eric,
how about they have kids they have to take care of? You know, I mean, my
Yeah,
goodness. I have a child that I have to take care of.
I know. Eric, next time I come to Ohio, I'm coming to your house. I'm sleeping over. I'm buying you dinner. I'll even take you shopping, whatever you want, buddy.
As long as I get the outside of the spoon, I'm okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
hello. Wow.
Woo!
I got a phone call. I've got to.
Patrick, I'll be there in the morning.
Got his hands between
you
two
guys.
pillows.
I started by saying hello to Kimberly, and this is how 12 minutes into the show, we're talking about spooning. Relax, guys. Kimmy, thanks for stopping in. DuPage, I see you. Adams, Glenn, Swamp, D is here. Hello. What are sales? Myra Freeman. Myra Freeman, I think, is a new subscriber of mine. She found me through What the Hells. So thank you. Big Red is my son. He's in there. My sister Rebecca is in there. Sweet Warrior. Hey, Sweet Warrior, I still last week I gave out the prizes that we did. I still have to I gave out half the stuff and sent them out, but I was we did the show last Saturday, and then on Sunday I went to meet Side Hustle Pro Chaz. I drove down to Harrisburg for that, and then like I said, for 2 days I was out in Ohio, the combination, and met those guys, and here we are back home doing another. And Thursday, that's right. When I got home Thursday night, we did our show with Valerie, and that was Side Gigs. I see Donatello's in the house. Donatello's channel, if you guys haven't subscribed, click the 3 dots to the right of her name. She does a lot of auctions. I tell you, in some of the auctions that she's doing, you're getting big box lots for sometimes $15, $20, which includes shipping. I bought 3 NASCAR cars from her the other day for $30, and that included shipping. I see Nameless Picker is in here in the house. Banana Finds, Dave, this room changes all the time. Well, yeah, we got to keep it interesting. Now, not all the time, because myself, Jason, and Eric are always here. Harlan's in the house, of course. Bearded Picker. Joy's in. Nate's here. Melissa's here. Melissa W is even here, and Turtle Trader. The heat is up. Yeah, it's hot. Scott, if anybody doesn't know, he's out in Las Vegas for eBay Open. So I'm glad he's actually taken the time to watch us tonight and stuff like that. So I don't think I missed anybody. Mary Death Dells just came in. So hi, if I missed anybody, Mothership Products, Dwayne, he's here too. He does his auctions on Saturday night, and he's actually going to be on our show Thursday with Kimberly. So All right, let's get into our special guest, Harlan. And Harlan, why don't you tell us what you do with these auctions?
Well, it's like, when way I was describing it the other day is, a lot of people go to yard sales, estate sales, and they look for certain items to put on eBay and Amazon. If you have an auction near your house, whether it's an online auction or whether it's just an auction that you go to in person and bid, there's a lot of things that you find at yard sales and stuff that you normally would just skip by, that you normally would not pick up because you can't sell it on eBay and Amazon, like furniture or coolers, any kind of thing like that would that you could resell at an auction. So I have a few items like today. Well, here's something that I picked up, and also every auction is different because it depends on what area that you're in, and all of them specialize in different items. But mine's in Southern Tennessee. So here's an item that I found the other day. It's a Strike King hat, and it's if you know fishing, it's signed by Kevin Van Dam. Putting this on eBay, I can't really authenticate something like this. I don't think they would fake a Kevin Van Dam autograph on a Strike King hat. But this is something that I'm taking to auction. I'll have 50 cents in, and that it has the potential of, I think, of going to 10, 15 bucks if the people's there that are bidding. So it adds a whole new game when you go to the yard sales, because you're looking for stuff for eBay or stuff for Amazon, and then you can say, oh, I can take this to auction. So it kind of opens up and gets a whole new line of products that you could pick up.
Yeah, so when I used to do that, I used to do that down when I was in West Virginia. I worked the auction circuit where I'd literally buy from one auction, shove it in another auction, and you could tailor your stuff to the auction house.
Yeah.
You had junk auctions, where it was box lots and just household stuff. You could dump your bad stuff into there, box it up and throw it in lots there. And you had your better auctions that you knew would bring in higher bidders, and they'd spend more money. So you'd drop your nicer stuff into there. And if you play the game right, you can do really, really well. And it also cleans out when you buy big lots. It'll help you clean stuff out too.
Right. Yeah, I actually went to a live auction probably a couple months ago. They had a whole bunch of stuff on the outside of the building before they went into the building and auctioned everything off. And it got to the point where they were everything. It was $1.
Yeah.
And you just got to go pick it. So I picked up a chair for $1. I took it to the one in Tennessee, and it sold for $37.50. So
Nice.
when you're in items that are really cheap, then I mean that's where you want to be. You got to be in there cheap, because it all starts at zero. You don't know where it's gonna go.
Yeah. Well, that's like my online auction I do out of my garage. Once a month, I take stuff that I bought that either I don't want to put it on eBay, it's not worth listing on eBay, I don't want to ship it, or I've had it on eBay for a long time, and I've decided, you know what, I'm just going to take it off. It's not moving the way I'd hoped it would move.
Mm-hmm.
Drop it in there, let somebody else buy it, and I recover some money off of it, and I don't have to worry about it.
Here's an item I bought today. I showed on my show. It's a hair dryer, Sunbeam hair dryer. It's not for me.
It doesn't work apparently.
I don't need it anymore.
Now, see, the problem was he tried it, and that's the result of it. So,
My hair off. So it's
bad hair dryer.
He tried it, but in a different area.
So anyway, this has still got the stuff on it, still got the tags. It was $2. This is not an eBay or Amazon item. So at $2, I think this will be a winning product at the auction.
Yeah, $2 you turn it. What's the commission rates they charge?
They do charge 30% at the local online auction, because they have to take the pictures and write it up, everything. And I'll describe how this works. This is how mine works, and they're all different. But the one I go to has a soft close. A soft close means it's really good for the seller, is what it essentially means. If anybody bids in the last 2 minutes, If it gets down to 1.5 minutes and somebody makes a bid, it throws 2 minutes back to the clock, so it goes to 3:30. So if you try to snipe it with 10 seconds left, it goes back to 2:10. So it can sit there and just roll and roll. As long as there's people interested in it, the seller is the winner.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's the best ones, because that way, you know, because I buy a lot in online auctions, and it can be difficult if you're trying to juggle, you know, 30 or 40 lots, and you need those soft closes. Sometimes you want to throw a bid on something just to buy some time.
Right.
So yeah, it's really nice, and it can be frustrating if you're trying to buy too, because you're like, why? The most frustrating thing for me when I buy like that is somebody who thinks they can snipe the bid. So they'll let it run it all the way down to 5 seconds, and they bid it again. I usually bid right away, and then they'll run it right back down to 5 seconds. Like, come on, it's not going to work. It doesn't work that way, you know. You're wasting time.
Yep.
Now, Harlan, is there a minimum amount that you have to? You know, I'll be honest. I never knew that people could do that. I always assumed that, you know, they were like estate cleanouts or you know, big stuff. I mean, is there a minimum lot that you need to take over there to kind of qualify, or is it simply not worth their time?
No, it's also one of those things. I've been selling at this auction house for about 3 years. And when I first started taking items there, I would call him and say, hey, I've got, you know, 15, 20 items to take. And he'd say, okay, bring it. And then I would take it up there. Then the next time I would have stuff, I would tell him. And finally, I got to going every week. And he would say, bring it, you know, keep bringing it. And finally, he got to the point saying, look, these are your tables here every week if you want them. So you can't just pop up at this one. You have to call him. Like my brother sells up there once a month. So he gives him a date to bring his stuff. So because they actually have 2 locations. One location's smaller, one of them's a lot bigger. So one, like the one this past week, they had like 1,000 items. The other one, they can have up to like 2,000 items. So he'll bring more people in to the bigger location.
They have a lot of items through that auction house. This is Van Massey in Tennessee, if anybody wants to look it up. But it's definitely an interesting setup, and they sell just about everything in the world out there. But yeah, it's kind of cool.
Harlan, there's a question from Barry, Thrifty Santa. It says, do they use high bid for their auctions, HIBID?
I do not think so.
No, they use their own software.
I'm not even sure what that means. Eric, do you know anything about it?
HiBid is an online auction software that a lot of companies use, and then a lot of people use. You can actually sell it on yourself. You just have to set up an account with them. But they use their own software. So a lot of places, like my auction house uses is Capital City Online Auctions, and it uses their own auction software. But HiBid, if you go on, just search HiBid in Google, you'll find HiBids in pretty much every state, and a lot of companies use it because it's actually pretty easy software to use, and it's cheap. It's like $75 a month to sell on HiBid. So,
and Harlan, someone is asking, what are your sales? Can you buy their live, or is it only online bidding?
They do have some live sales. The ones that I take stuff to that I have every week is online bidding only, but they do have like people. They'll go to a house and they'll sell off their barn. I mean, they have those big kind of auctions, but these are all just online auctions. They run from a Thursday night to a Thursday night, 7 days, just like it looks just like an eBay type auction. So.
Oh, okay. Now, so then you prepare the stuff, you take it over to like their warehouse they give you like a sheet that says everything that you gave to them.
I've got a couple, 2 or 3 tables that I normally have, and I'll put all my stuff out and display it the best way that I can. And a lot of times I'll write on an index card more information about it and big Sharpie, because sometimes when you look at stuff in a picture, you just can't really see it good.
Yeah.
So I try to write any kind of details that they may need to see. I put that in there.
Yeah, they're not known for doing a lot of pictures of your stuff. It's 1 or 2 pictures if you're lucky, and
right.
Whereas like my auction, the guy that does my auctions for me takes like 7, 8, 10 pictures of my items, and you get really good pictures there. But again, when I put up stuff, I'm only putting up about between 125 and 150 items a month. They're running, I've seen auctions there at 1,700 items a week out of the one that Harlan sells at. So I mean, it's again, and you have to take the good with the bad. There's a lot of people that hit Harlan's auction. I mean, that buy from there because you got so much stuff. Time is money. I mean, that takes a lot of time to shoot those photos. So.
Oh yeah.
Now, is Bearded Picker making a joke, or is he being serious about that?
He's just talking about how the quality of the photos are not the best there.
Oh, okay.
But what Harlan does, actually, that's why Harlan gets good money, because he does do those 3x5 cards. I've seen the stuff at the sales there, and those 3x5 cards are super important. I mean, they just tell you what it is, and I'm sure that's why you're getting more for your items, because you don't have to try to sit there and figure it out. Now, as a buyer, those type of auctions are great. Because if you see something and you know what it is and nobody else can figure it out, you're going to get it cheap.
Right.
A well-described item brings more money, but as a buyer, you don't want a well-described item. I mean, Jason, I'm competition on that.
Right. Now, Dwayne, Mothership Products, he does, and that's kind of, I've seen him in the room, and really, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, John Johnson had sold $700 worth of stuff in like 2 hours on his show doing the YouTube auction. And he's asking, do you prefer online or in person? I'll ask, since Eric and Harlan are both familiar, I'll have them answer that question.
As far I've sold it both. I tend to get more money through the online auction because the place that I sold at, you only had so many people at it, and unfortunately, probably 3/4 of those were resellers. So that means your item's not really going to go to what you think it should go. Now, the place that I sell at in Tennessee, there's mainly people buying for themselves, so the price tends to go higher. But I do love going to a good live auction.
For me, I mean, online is good because you can get a wider audience, and people have a chance to research it more. But what you do lose out on is you lose out on auction fever.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
Live auctions prices can go crazy, and
it's quick. They're yelling, and when you see an auction, they're going, yeah. I mean, that's getting everybody going. They do that for a reason. They're getting you pumped up. And the quicker they go, the quicker you have to think. So that's why the prices go. So
Scott was saying that auction Van Massey's actually is using high bid now. I mean, I haven't looked at a Van Massey auction in almost a year, so maybe it is. Like I said, but yeah, just go to high bid, you'll see it. I mean, it's there. But yeah, I mean, but again, the live auction. Like when I was running the auction circuit, I would buy at little small neighborhood auctions. Where you'd have 25 or 30 buyers there, and I could go in, and I knew that I could flip that stuff to a bigger auction and make better money. But the big auction that I was selling at was a high-end auction. I knew I could take stuff there, stuff that I bought for $20, I could get 80 or 90 out of at the other auction because there was more money in the room. There's 300 or 400 people there, known for the type of stuff it was selling. And even box lots there were really good, but. If it's a smaller, if you have a little local auction that's attended by the same 30 people, not your best bet, for stuff like that. That's where you want to go online, where you get a bigger crowd. There's one auction house here in Columbus that's online, and they have a database. They get like 50,000 unique bidders every week. So, sometimes it's better to sell online. It just kind of depends on your area. It's all different. I mean, I know down in Alabama, the live auctions just aren't near as prolific as what I have and anywhere near what Jason has.
Right.
And there's one good thing about the one I sell at. The baseball cards do well up there. Yeah. So I still sell a lot of cards. I picked up a box of cards the other day for $5 at a yard sale. Went through it, pulled out the really good ones, laid the other ones out on top, showing some of the good stuff that was in there, and it sold for $42.50 the other day.
I've bought and sold cards, and me and Craig have actually talked about it. What was it? One of those 5,000 card boxes, or just?
No, it was just a box. They had through just bunch. It was everything in there. Stuff from some of the stuff I pulled out. It had there's
Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds rookie. I pulled out a Bowman Sosa rookie. So I mean, there was just there was even WrestleMania cards in there that I pulled out. So a lot of 87s to early 90s. There's a big
right at the beginning of the
card.
Yeah.
So I pulled a lot of this out. I'll actually run these. I'll probably run those two together in the auction. Those do well up there. But yeah, that box, it was just a bunch of random cards, $5, sold it for $42.50. That stuff does well up there. So anytime I find stuff at a yard sale, I pick all that stuff up.
Do they have a lot of? Do you see a lot of larger boxes come through, or is it most? Selling up there for cards, or is it just smaller lots, or what?
Yeah, it's me and this other guy that pretty much do that. So that box the other day probably had 2,000 cards in it or something like that I bought for $5.
Harlan, excuse me a second. There's a guy I recognize it. There's a new viewer in here. He says he's a sports card guy. He opens up boxes on his channel and he sells on I think, I'm not sure if it's Instagram, eBay. Sports cards are great money. So, there's a person who's we're talking about the subject, and there's a person that does it and makes a living, or is at least making money doing it. I know somebody that has a sporting cards and makes a lot selling sporting cards. So that's why my interest has been it, because it's something small. It was always easy to ship. My two best cards I ever sold was a 1981 Joe Montana rookie, graded 9, $450. I sold two of them for somebody, and they weren't my cards. I sold them on commission, and I made like $75, $90 for 10 minutes worth of work, and they sold quick.
Wow, I like your commission rates. I'd sell through you. I mean, if I sold on commission, I'd charge 50%.
Well, I'll be honest. This was back in the day when I owned the restaurant. I had to sign up in the lobby, and I was like, now anymore. I have a viewer who's also lives about 15 miles from me, and he's given me a whole bunch of high-end clothing to sell, and we have an agreement that it is 50%. It was small, and I sold $7,000 worth of stuff in a month for the guy, and unfortunately, though, he wanted me to eat a little bit more of the commissions that he didn't quite understand how PayPal worked. So, but I made an extra close to $600, but I won't do that no more at basically 8.5%, 9%, because some of the bigger items, the autographed frames and stuff, were a lot of time, and there were some items in there like basketball shoes autographed and stuff like that. But you learn, and as you want to do this more full time, you even learn quickly, or it costs you too much money, and you can't be making too many of those mistakes.
Yeah. I say because when I sold a commission, it was 50% because I know I'm going to eat eBay, PayPal, and taxes on top of it. I'm the whole amount. So I'm going to pay 15% tax rate on on a $450 sale. I mean, that's going to cost me $60, $70.
And you're looking at the possible return too.
Yeah.
Back in the day, those eBay franchises used to charge 35%, and the customer eats the fees. I remember that.
Yeah, you had a buddy that did that for a long time.
Yeah, he owned 3 of those. I sold it on eBay stores.
Wow. If that opportunity ever comes up, typically if it's something I'm interested in, I'll usually try and buy the item as opposed to.
That's the best way to decide outright. What's your lowest price you accept for it? Now, if it's worth it, I'd buy it from you then and sell it. I mean, I'm working a deal right now with a guy who sells on eBay, but he doesn't have time because he's also a live auctioneer. And we were just discussing, he's got an entire storage unit full of watchmaker stuff, and I'm trying to work a deal with him on that. So you got to get those opportunities when you can.
Yeah, I've actually seen some of his Timo designs. I've watched some of his videos. There's a lot of channels out there that are doing the pack opening, because some of those packs now are actually boxes, and they're like $1,000 a box, $1,500 a box, and you open them up, And I mean, there's like 5 cards in there, and they're like guaranteed 3 autographs. And I mean, it's crazy.
I mean, in the 80s, you could buy a box for what, $20, and that was the high end brand. That was a top.
Yeah. Yep.
I remember buying boxes in the 70s for like $5 for an entire box of cards.
Well, you were around when they put out the 1948 ones, weren't you?
The tobacco cards? Is that what you're?
The 1907.
That's a little earlier.
I love tobacco cards. I buy them when I see them, but you know,
I got to dish it back to Eric since he's busting my chops about not stopping over. You know, Eric. Now you're into doing paper and stuff. Have you gotten ever into selling cards at all, or?
I don't like to sell cards mainly because the best value in cards is graded cards. Now, if I can buy great cards that are already graded by PSA, or I think there's like 2 companies you can use on eBay that count them as graded, I'll buy those cards if the price is right. But I'm not going to. I got too much stuff to buy going out there buying and mining for cards. I could buy cards every day of the week. I could buy cards. I go on Facebook Marketplace and there's people selling thousands of cards and they're not much money, but I'm not knowledgeable enough. I got out of card selling back in the 90s. I mean, I sold everything I had back then. And, you know, I don't think I have a single card left in this house now. So
I wish I could say that.
I mean, I pass them up. I go to live auctions and I literally can spend $1 for a box of 1,000 with no trouble. And nobody really knows what's in there. Nobody goes through them. It's just like, you know, it says 90 Bowman or something like that. It's a you know, the white sleeve boxes like that. I mean, get them for $1 or $2 because just nobody's really into them that much. And by the time you sit there and go through them and hunt them and pick out the best, you know, now if you turn around and flip them into a live auction, that like a live online auction, I've sold a few boxes through there, but they don't really bring that much money. So it's just not my thing, I guess. I'm just not really that interested in it. I like just more obscure paperwork. So.
Now, when I went to the auction 3 weeks ago that Jason told me about, I bought a couple boxes of cards, and to be honest, I picked them up for like $2 a box, and not even open. Now, I enjoy talking about the subject, so I'll turn it into a YouTube video and give examples of what things sell for or what to look for in that year, because that's the problem sometimes you start talking about baseball cards and then people go out there without doing their homework and just assume every baseball card or football card is worth money, which it's not. I mean, I can't believe the phenomenal that's going on now. Like Harlan brought up, the $1,000 a box. There's a channel out there called Jab's Family. The guy's a school teacher and he has like 30,000 followers. He collects balls and stuff, and he has a channel that talks about all this stuff about collecting cards but I agree with you, Eric. I try to, if I'm going to spend money, I'm going to buy graded cards. Just because people don't understand. I'll give you the perfect example. That Joe Montana I sold for $450 was a graded 9. I had a Joe Montana just in a hardcover that sold. It was only $50. Yeah. So that's the difference between stuff that's getting graded by professional companies like PSA.
PSA is what, like about $30 for a card to get it graded, something like that.
Well, unless you become a member. And then you can get it as little as $5 if you ship it in like 200 cards like at a time. Then you can. There are companies out there. There's on eBay. It's called 4 Sharp Corners. I think their feedback. I haven't looked at it in a while, but it was in the hundreds of thousands. They go to card shows and they'll buy $100,000 worth of cards at a time because what happens is people are sitting on stuff that is even from 1975 to 1980, and all of a sudden it gets dug out. It was stored somewhere that a guy had an old card shop and he passed away, and they want to sell it, and something that is worth $100,000, they could turn it and send it in and get it even as low as $2 or $3 a card, and turn around and turn that into over $1 million just by doing that. But that's what they do for a living. So. Them to drop $100,000 buying inventory is nothing when you're selling $20,000 or $30,000 a week worth of cards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I mean, cards are great. I mean, they're small, they ship easy, but there's just, you got to buy so many to get to the good ones, and then you have to invest a little bit more. It's just one of those businesses. If you really love it and you're really into it, great. It's like anything else. If you specialize in something and really love it and really understand it and want to do well with it, you can. It's just not going to be for me.
Right.
And that's the way this business is. Just because he doesn't do it doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying not for me.
Right.
It's just like clothing. Clothing is not for me. I just don't want to sell it. And there's good clothing out there. It's just not for me.
Right. And everybody's different,
But I'm sure, Eric, if someone called you up tomorrow and say, hey, I got a bunch of 1975 graded cards, you're not going to say no right away. You might say, you know what, let me call somebody and let me see. And
I do some research if they're worth buying. And because they're already graded, the investment, it's like coins. I don't sell coins unless they're graded.
Right.
Because again, it's the same deal. Someone's already invested that $15, $20 to get it graded. So right off the bat, I can actually find a value pretty easily on what that coin's going to be. A card, it's so easy to knock value off a card or a comic book or something like that. Anything that
Right.
has the ability to be graded, I don't touch unless it's already graded. It's one of the reasons why I don't do records for the most part, because records depend on grading, and they're
so picky.
Those are some picky people.
Yeah,
They're probably the pickiest.
and I had some really great early blues records that if they've been graded, they've been a really decent money. But I'm like, I am not going to mess with that stuff, so I flip them into my live auction and just don't worry about it. I just don't want to deal with that. And again, it's not so much that it's that hard to do if you specialize in that type of stuff and don't mind standing behind your grading. Not a big deal. I'm just not going to do it.
I went to a yard sale last year, and this kid had tons of graded cards for $2 a piece, and I bought almost every single one of them. It was 89 Upper Deck, Griffey, PSA 9. I was like, this don't make any sense. Finally, I was like, oh, you getting rid of your collection? He goes, some guy gave me all these, and I don't want them.
Do you have more of them?
He didn't.
The only thing you have to watch out for is eBay is very, very specific about which grading companies they'll accept as a graded card.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shady grading companies out there. So, you have to look it up. I know PSA is one of them.
And Beckett.
Beckett.
Okay, I think those are the only two that they'll accept for baseball cards.
Yeah, those are the two that I would only ever buy from.
Right.
That'd be a good name. The Shady Card Collecting.
Now, Harlan, when you did buy those cards, did you obviously didn't you're not collecting them, you sold them, right?
Yeah, I don't collect anything but 20s and 100s.
There you go.
No, I sold all of them.
How'd you make out on them? Do you remember? Or?
I did well. I actually sold a bunch of them up at the auction in Tennessee, and one of them I had was an '89 Donruss Rookies, Griffey PSA 9. Had a couple of those. I thought they would only go for like $10. They actually went for $30 up there, and that's when I started taking all the rest of them up there, because sometimes you take stuff because people's like, why is people paying this? Because they could buy it on eBay for this price. It's like, everybody don't buy stuff on eBay.
Exactly.
Some people just buy stuff at auctions. And if you see something you want and there's two people that want it, let the bidding begin. And that's the fun part of watching these auctions because they sit there and they just keep going and keep going. There's times where I've talked to Scott and I was like, this cannot go any higher. There's no way. Oh my gosh, it just went up again.
3 hours later, it finally ends.
Yeah, that Van Massey can you start watching it? I think it starts ending like 7:00 at night, and I have sat there and watched that thing go till almost midnight. People just keep bidding on stuff, and you're just like, it's brutal sometimes watching that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun.
Now, Harlan, when you do these auctions that you talk about, and I'm sorry if I missed it earlier, is this something just like once a month, once a week? I remember you saying something Thursday to Thursday, but how often can you take stuff there every week? Or
Yeah, they have a drop off every Monday morning. So normally I take stuff every week, but when I went to the green room meetup, I'm swamped at work. I am so busy. So I didn't have time to run up there because that's But by the time I go up there and make it back to work, it's 9 o'clock, and I've been having to get to work at like 6 in the morning. So for 2 or 3 weeks, I did not go up there. I've still been getting things, and then I'll just take it all later. But yeah, I usually take stuff every week.
Yeah, it's a good little side extra income. I mean, because like you have a full-time job. Someone asked something earlier. Is there a website? I'm sure there probably is for these. I never know that these. Like I said, I thought you had to bring a full estate, or they just went and got things. I wonder if there's something similar here in Pennsylvania that I could, like, if I clean out a storage unit and stuff like that, that I could take some excess inventory to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Auctionzip.com.
Yeah.
Go there.
Just get on AuctionZip and then find the local auctions that are doing them live, high bid. You know, you can kind of look and see who does live or does online auctions, and then you give them a call and find out how their consignments work and what do they look for. And you'd be surprised what you'll find and how much money you can make on that stuff. And it's a great way to dump stuff, and you're not dumping bad stuff because you bought it. I mean, you're just dumping stuff that you don't want to deal with anymore. I could sell it at 15 different auctions if I wanted to. I have the one guy I work with, and he's a buddy of mine. So, I just like doing it that way. But I used to sell when I lived down in West Virginia. I did and do a lot more live auctions. I'd sell primarily between like 3 or 4 different auction houses, depending on what I had.
Now, is there certain things they just don't like? In other words, houseware. Seems like when you go to the Salvation Army, you always see an overabundance of dishes and glassware. Those probably things don't work, right?
Yeah, dishes and certain times of pots and pans, unless they're new.
Right.
And, but the best thing to do if you are going to sell at a local auction or an online auction, you have to study that auction. If it's a live auction, you need to go to that auction at least 2 or 3 times. Look at what they're going to sell and remember or write down what it's selling for. Because like I said, when I say every auction is different, I mean every auction is different. You may take this item. I mean, like I say, I bought that chair for $1 at this auction and took it to the other auction and sold it for $37.50. So, I mean, you just have to learn by going or looking online at the closing items and just figure out what stuff sells and what it sells for. And then when you're out yard sailing, estate sales, thrifting, anything like that, and you see that item for $1, I mean, there's so many items that I pick up 50 cents, $1, and it's like that'll sell for $5 to $10 at my auction. Now that's something you would probably just blow right over if you only sell on eBay or Amazon. You're like, that's not even worth my time listing it. That's not worth my time shipping it. But when you can pick it up and I put it in my bin to go to the auction and I lay it out on the table, I'm done.
Yeah,
that's it.
So when you lay your items out, you're building your lots, and they come in and take the pictures, or what?
Yeah, like for this one here, I'll put I'll lay this hat out and I'll write a thing on here and I'll say Strike King hat autographed by Kevin Van Dam, and that's one lot. So I'll lay it all out and they can tell, what's a lot. Or if I have something that I want to put together, I'll once I get everything laid out, I'll say, hey, I'm ready. And he'll come over there and I'll just kind of walk him through. I said, I've got everything spaced out, run these together. And for the most part, they get it right. Last week, they had one thing split up in 2 that I wanted in 1. But, I mean, for the most part, here's another tip. Let me see if I've still got right here. When I write stuff down to take to the auction, I write everything down that I'm taking. So there's 3 pages on this one. So after he starts the auctions, I'll actually go and look at all the auctions and check to make sure they have my stuff. Because when you have 1,000 to 2,000 items, sometimes they miss things because they're going through and snapping pictures. And like this week, they had missed 2 of my items. And I said, hey, I'm missing, and it was some stuff that somebody gave to my daughter. I was missing a Tupperware cupcake holder and a set of wine glasses that was new in the box. So I said, I'm missing these 2 things, and they should be sitting on the table at a certain spot. He said, I'll check it in the morning. He's texted me back and said, yep, I just missed it. Sorry. So keep up with your stuff.
That's true with any auction. Even if you drop it at a live auction, you know, if you're dropping consigning stuff, know what you dropped. And then, like I said, I always go, when I consign at a live auction, I go to preview day to make sure they've got all my stuff laid out the way I want it and everything too. So, but your auctioneers, their job is to get the most money for your stuff. So they pay attention to what you want there.
You guys never run into an issue where stuff comes missing or nothing like that, right?
Every now and then.
Yeah.
I mean, especially live auctions, you know, people suck, people steal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the nature of what it is. I mean, and not a lot you can do about it.
Yeah, I sell quite a few coins, and I sold at a live auction one time, and I would drop stuff off on a Tuesday. The auctions were on Thursday, and I had somebody steal a silver round one day. They just walked by and took it right off the table. So what I did after that is before I took it for preview day, I would just take pictures of the actual coin and lay the paper on the table. And I would say the actual coin will be here 30 minutes before the auction starts. I would lay it on the table right there by the auctioneer, and they could come and look at it. So I fixed that problem. And the coins that I sell now up in Tennessee, I actually give them to him. So when people come for preview day, they're actually laid out for people to look at right there in front of him. So I've had no problems with coins or anything like that being stolen.
It seems to me, Harlan, realistically, and that you can make $100 a week, really pretty easy doing this, right?
Oh yeah. I didn't count up mine from this past week, but it was probably 300 or 400 this past week.
That's in sales though, right? That's not profit.
Well, my items are cheap. I'm a cheap.
I'm just what I'm trying to say is people that are listening or watching, right? 300 or 400 is not profit, but
no, that's probably total sales, and they'll take 30% of that. And you know, it's like I had some of my sales this past week. I had some fishing poles I bought for $1. They sold for $11. You know, the baseball cards was $5 to $42.50. I mean, I had some pretty big stuff in there, but most things, you know, are $1 to $6 or $7. So it's not huge money, but it's stuff that if you were out yard selling anyways, you would have just not picked it up if you did not have an outlet like this.
Dave has a question. At what threshold does it make sense to have an eBay store versus a collection of listings? Not sure what that means. I think he means that what makes you decide to say that I'm going to go to the auction or list it on eBay. I'm hoping I'm asking that right. I'm not sure what the question is there. So if anyone else on the panelists can kind of maybe clarify that.
I think he's asking having an eBay store versus just having listings out there, you know, because you can do just a, you know,
you can just sell without having a store. But I mean, it just basically boils down to what's most cost effective. You know, the cheapest store, I mean, I'm not counting the $5 store. The cheapest decent store is $20, $25, whatever it is. And you get 250 listings, but you get better rates for when you sell. You know, that's the key right there is, you know, okay, I pay $20 a month and I'm paying 9% commission as opposed to 10 or 11%.
Right.
You know, am I selling enough to make it worthwhile? Then I have listing fees. You're listing, you know, how much does it cost to list an item? Was it 50 cents an item? I don't even know. I mean, I've had a store for so long. I have no clue what it costs to list an item without a store now. So if you list 20 items that cost you 50 cents, you already spent $10 of your $20 store fee. I mean,
right.
That way.
And I don't think you can't be top rated seller without a store, can you?
No, I don't think so.
I wasn't sure. I didn't want to say for sure, but
what happened was when he asked the question, my mind was on the auction.
Oh, yeah.
A business that Harlan was talking about, and that's why I wanted you guys to kind of put some in. But now I know what he means, because I never had a store up until about 6 months ago, because I always only had about 200 listings. But then, like, the 1 month, my fees were so large, and I started mathematically figuring out. I'm like, wow, if I would have had a store, I would have saved myself about $80 in fees. So for me, I think, and my older son talked about having a store, and I said to him, Nathan, you only have like 100, 150 items listed. It's not worth having a store yet. You start getting into, like, I have 2 stores. One has 300, 400 listings, and the other one has about 700 listings. So I have about, of course, then it's worth having a store, for a variety of reasons. Harlan, there's another question from Barry, and I'm trying to catch these questions as they go up real quick, guys. What type of items sell best for you at the auction house?
The one that I go to, like I say, I've been selling there for 3 years. I saw his question a minute ago, and I was looking back through last week's stuff to give you an example of the wide variety of things. Like I say, I sold 2 fishing rod and reels. Those sold, for $11. I had $1 in it. I took a Fender amp up there, and it sold for $40. I had $5 invested in that. I had a dartboard, had $1 in it, sold for $27.50. I took a Bob stroller up there. I tested this one. I picked up a Bob stroller for $6. The tires were wore out on it. It was dirty. The brakes really weren't working that great. I was going to sell it locally, but I said I'm going to try it at the auction. It sold for $50, so that's
a good brand.
Yeah, if you ever see a stroller that says Bob and it's cheap, you got to get it.
I think one of the keys is things that sell really well at live auction is stuff that people don't want to pay shipping on.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, you can buy it on eBay, but if I got to pay $40 in shipping to get it, that's $40 they can spend on the item. It's the same thought process there. So
yeah, that's a good point.
So that's one of the advantages to buying it like live auctions and stuff. So,
and and there's a little bit of difference in selling there versus selling Facebook Marketplace. I don't sell at auctions. I sell at Facebook Marketplace. With the auction, you've got that one hit. You get it all hopefully blown out in one day, one night, whatever, Versus.
For me, like I said, I'm going to build an auction on Wednesday. It'll take me about 6 hours to working with the auctioneer, setting it up, getting the photos done, lighting everything up. It'll be 150 items, let's say. So I'll spend 6 or 7 hours doing that, and then I'm done with it at that point. He takes the photos and builds the listings, puts the auction up, and then on pickup day, it's a 3-hour window to pick up. So I'll have like 10 hours invested of my time, and I don't even have to do that. I can give it to him and let him do it all, but then I have to pay a helper for that. So I do that to save money. So it's 10 hours worth of my time once a month. That's the way I look at it.
Dwayne has a question. What kind of prep work do you do for the auction? Cleaning, etc. That was the question.
Most items I get, there's no cleaning at all. I did have some old Tonka trucks that I sold in the last auction. I took outside and got the hose pipe and a rag and wiped those off. But I mean, like these items that I'm taking this next week, like the dryer that's new, the hat. I bought these today. These Donruss triple threat cards. I bought all these for 50 cents. There's no prep work in any of that. So, something like this will sell for $4 or $5. Most things there's no prep work at all. I'll write it down on my sheet, and if I need to make a card, and describe what it is, I'll do that. I'll load it up in the bins, and then it's pretty much done.
Hey, Jason, you're typing questions in the side. Don't be afraid to.
I saw his question.
But what's happening is they're thinking he's on a quiet, like a hunger strike tonight, like quiet. I know he got a haircut this week and he's going for the Harlan look. He didn't quite pull it off. He's got some trouble there. Jason, ask him the question in person, buddy. Speak up.
Well, okay. What percentage commission are they charging you, and what percentage are they charging the buyer?
It's 30% for the seller and then 15% for the buyer. So the auction company is making 45%.
Wow. So
Okay.
The real winner is the auction company.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know any broke auctioneers.
No.
Yeah, they get it on both ends. So I mean, that, which is good. I mean, that's the way it should be. I mean, because they're selling your stuff, they're making money, you're making money, and you can buy stuff. I mean, you can buy stuff at Van Massey and flip it and put it on eBay. It goes cheap enough usually that you could do that for, you know.
Oh, wow.
If you really like to.
Too. Yeah.
So
Now, probably the question I'm going to ask is stupid, but obviously all the stuff customers have to pick up at the auction warehouse. They don't ship out nothing, right?
No, they will ship.
Oh, they will?
Yeah, they have a lady that works at a UPS store. She will come and pick it up, and I'm sure it's expensive.
Because they're going to do the pick, pack, and ship or whatever the thing is with UPS store, I'm sure.
Okay, see?
Some auction halls even charge a small fee, like $5 or so, and they'll drop your stuff off at the UPS store, and then you call them and arrange for the shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, this lady actually shows up the same time we're dropping stuff off on a Monday morning. She's actually picking up the last week's stuff. Same time we're dropping off.
How about you, Eric? What's your experience with that?
what you know, the way it works for mine is if somebody buys something out of one of my auctions that they want it shipped to them, my auctioneer charges them. It's a $10 fee plus actual shipping cost. So, but the nice thing about it is he picks it up from me. He takes it back to his house. He does all that stuff for him. Says I don't have to deal with it.
Okay.
Because he's making money doing that himself. Because he's charging $10 to basically throw it in an envelope. But he's also going to charge him for the fee for the whatever the box he's using plus the actual shipping costs and everything. So, I had a lady bought a case of McDonald's glasses that I had. She paid $100 to me. She paid him $10 to take it to his house, and she paid him like $40 to ship it. So she spent like $150, you know. But I got 100 of that. But I don't have to deal with it. That's the beautiful thing about an auction house handling your stuff is 99% of the time you don't deal with it. You've dropped it off and you're done with it.
Yep.
Now, where are you guys, Harlan? Where are you primarily sourcing your stuff for these auctions that you do? And typically, how many items are you bringing on a weekly basis?
Most of mine come from yard sales and estate sales. Probably average 40 to 50 items a week.
Wow.
If you'd watched his videos, you'd have known that.
And we're gonna talk about that. I do watch his videos because
I'm kidding. I
offer to buy things from him and he doesn't follow through. I told him I want to buy.
I've still got to do that. I'm sorry.
Your money's no good here, Pat.
And you know, I told him I want to buy the Christmas Carol, and he's like, I didn't get the Christmas Carol, and he looks, oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I am watching his videos, not all of them. I mean, we are busy and stuff. I go on his lives, but that's another segue is Harlan. You know, you said you've been selling like 10 plus years. What finally made you say, you know what, I'm going to kind of tie YouTube into doing this stuff?
I don't know. You know, I met Dusty, Alabama picker in town, and we actually met at a estate sale. And he said, "Hey, we need to go get a beer, you know, get something to eat sometime." And I ran into him again, and that's when I was going through my divorce. And he said, "Hey, you want to go out to eat and we'll talk or something?" And he brought Scott with him that one time, and you know, we started doing yard sales and stuff together. And then Scott had been, you know, doing videos with Dusty and stuff on their morning show and stuff like that. So I don't know. I've always just been kind of afraid to do that, and I don't know. I just do it.
Yeah,
Dusty, he's the guy that puts out the 3-hour videos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been doing YouTube only about 4 months right now, right?
3, yes, 3
Yeah,
months.
exactly. Because that's how I that's how I found Scott back in December, and then I had reached out to him like in January sometime, and then went on his show in February, and I remember finding you and through Scott. So I mean that's what's I like about YouTube because networking and learning. And everyone here I would have never met, you know, on Facebook or anything else. So I just think this is why I like to do the show because just a lot of opportunities. Okay, let's be quiet. We want to listen to Jason typing.
His old IBM mechanical keyboard.
It's sort of like Morse code. I think he's typing something like, "Dear bearded picker, I miss you dearly."
It's subliminal messages in the background.
I think we need to get Jason like one of those roll-up vinyl keyboards for shows, and then we can replace it when he's not doing a shows. You know.
What he's typing?
Scott just said he forced me to make videos, and you know, I was on his videos for months. I was the guy that you always saw my butt. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, there's the backside of Harlan." Every now and turn around, they'll be, "Oh, he has a face."
Well, I mean, let's admit it. Scott's not the tallest guy, and he wears the video on his chest, so you get a little lower angle anyway. So,
so yeah, he kept telling me you need to do videos. So I finally made one. And
well, I remember because in the beginning, like when they kept on teasing you that you were a single cop looking for a lady, and that was always kind of the, you know, and I wasn't sure if you were a reseller or not. That you know, maybe you were starting a different YouTube channel.
The only true thing about that is I'm single. That's the only true. That's the only part about that.
Yeah, I know it's funny because you'll watch people that maybe only stay on for 10 minutes, and they hear that people teasing that you're a cop, and I saw something in the last. He's really not a cop, and it's a lot of fun, and you're having a good time playing into it and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, and then you got to, is this the first time you went out? And I'm going to talk about you going to eBay Open. Is this the first time you went to the Texas Green Room meetup, or did you go last year?
We went last year too.
Now, how was that?
Oh, it's fun. It was amazing. You know, a lot of people I met last year, a lot of new people this year. You know, Rally Roots was there this year. It was cool talking to them.
Oh yeah.
They're just as cool in person as they are that you would think they would be by watching their videos. Allie, very talkative, very personable. So, you know, sometimes you see people and you would think, you know, oh, they're not going to talk to anybody, but they're just cool people, you know.
Yeah, I know. When I have talked to Allie through Instagram, she's usually the one that's taking care of the social media part stuff, but. That's a bucket list for me to get them to come on the show one day. We've talked. It's just a matter of coordinating something. But I know when you were out there, you did some live. Jason? Jason's
What?
quiet.
You're
quiet. You're quiet.
I know.
he almost fell out of his chair. That's all.
Well, he said before the show started he was so tired. He didn't know what he was going to talk about. He was right. He's just going to type it all tonight.
Well, actually, I can say one thing. I don't know if everybody bought stuff on Amazon Prime Day, but I did. I got this neat little, Kindle device thing, which I haven't figured out how to use yet, but I've only looked at it for 2 minutes. But the cool thing is I bought this cover for it. How neat is that? That is the coolest cover ever.
It looks like a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vintage Alice in Wonderland reproduction of the front cover.
That's neat.
It's neat. Now, what did they charge you for that Kindle that day?
$84, I believe it was.
Okay.
$129.
I mean, that's not bad. Is that Kindle just for reading books? Is that the white screen and the type?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kindle
So
Paperwhite or something.
Yeah, that's. We had one year got my wife the Fire tablet. I think it was around Christmas time. I think we paid like $80-some, and a tablet at the time, a color tablet, to be able to go online for $80. That was cheap. Now she's having a problem though, and I got to look into it. She can't get online with it. It's not reading the Wi-Fi no more. So it still works, but just you can't go online with it, so it kind of defeats the whole purpose. Uh-oh, Jason's at it again. Hold on. Let me see what he's wrote. I got to pull up the chat. Oh, what a great host tonight. Oh, thanks, Jason. Thank you. Thank you.
That's the farthest thing from my mind.
What? What? Harlan, let's get back to you. Going to eBay. We don't want to keep. We only got about another 45 minutes. We'll let Jason type the last 20 minutes of the show, and we'll just all and read it. But what's going on tomorrow? You're leaving. You're not going to church, I hear. You're flying out to Vegas.
I don't leave till 6:55 tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
So I got a full day here. So
now, how long you going out there for?
I come back on Friday night.
Okay, so you're taking another week off from work. You're behind already. You're going to really be backed up.
I'm halfway caught up, but when I take another week off, I'll be behind again when I get back. So
yeah. Now, what if you don't mind me asking? If you can't say, that's fine. What do you do full time? I always see these pictures of computers.
I troubleshoot different computer cards that we have manufactured. We have a place that builds the cards for us, and I component level. I troubleshoot down to the component level on those. I got one right here that I work on. See, there's one of the cards I troubleshoot right there.
Oh, okay.
And you're going through and you're like testing the chips and everything.
Yeah, we have software that tests the cards out, and if it fails, then we have to figure out what's wrong with the card. And with it being a brand new card, it could be unsoldered pin, it could be a short, it could be a bad chip, it could be anything with it being brand new. So that's one of the cards I do. I have probably 15 or 20 different types of cards that I work on.
Hey, Jason, Scott wants to know if you want to sell your flip phone.
He's always busting my chops. I kept my flip phone.
He got a brand new Samsung 10 phone. I mean, he really upgraded. So,
but I'm saying if you do sell it on my channel, I only charge a 3% commission. If you want to, I'll get you his address and I'll take care of packaging. I know sometimes, there's certain things you don't like to do. And if Jason, if you live closer to me, I'd probably be working for you part-time down there, doing the stuff that you don't want to do.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of stuff too. I can keep you busy, man. That's for sure.
So yeah, if you're not going to eBay Open this next week, but you want to feel like you're there, then you need to subscribe.
Right.
I'll be live all the time down the strip, down Fremont Street, down Slotzilla.
If you look in our description, we have the link also to Harlan's channel, special guest, Harlan's Reselling. And then our co-panelist is Banana Finds, which is Jason, the Mad Typer, Eric, Nameless Picker, and my Uncle Craig, Landtruck Picker. And those are the people. What's so funny? You better buy a new phone.
You said Grandpa Craig, didn't you? Oh.
No, I said Uncle Craig.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's the difference of 15 years. What taking stickers off, Pat? What's that? Did I miss something? Oh, a sticker peeler. That's what it is. Sue's in here. When I first met Sue, when we went on Scott's show, they would talk about not wanting to peel stickers, and I told her I'll apply for that job. I'm kind of amazed. That was one of the things when I was out meeting What the Hells. They had a warehouse, and they had 2 or 3 employees doing stuff for just eBay, making pretty good money just to do the stuff. I mean, to be honest, making more money than I am selling stuff on eBay. And I'm thinking sometimes, what am I doing wrong? I just got to up my game as far as sourcing and do different things. And this is why I wanted to bring Harlan on, because I never honestly thought about that.
to have an employee is to walk into a whole different set of expenses. So I mean, they got to make sure that what they're doing is worth the time and effort. I mean, we all know that if we had one other person working with us, could we be more productive? Definitely, but the cost factor kicks in. I mean, an employee's going to cost you $25,000 or $30,000 a year. You know, if you pay them a decent rate, by the time you pay taxes and you know all the stuff that goes along with having an employee, I mean, it can get, you know, it's got, okay, is that employee worth $30,000 a year to you? I mean, you know, that's what it basically boils down to. I mean, I'd love to have somebody working with me and helping me out and motivating me and pushing me and doing things that I don't necessarily, you know, find fun or anything, but you know, yeah, I could probably quadruple my listings. Would it be worthwhile? Maybe.
See, I can't delegate right. I would have Pat outside at the corner on the street with his chicken outfit on all day just for the hell of it.
How'd you know I have a chicken outfit?
You tell us about the chicken outfit all the time.
But that brings up a good point, talking about hiring people, VAs, all that stuff. Just, you know, a lot of people talk about it, but it's not right for everybody.
And eBay VA doesn't do you much good because you got to do all the work anyway. So I mean, you're doing all that work anyway. But to have somebody with you that, say you hate taking photos, and that's all they're going to do is they're going to sit there and pump out photos while you're pumping out listings. You could hand somebody, if they had a light kit and everything they need to do photos at their house, and you dropped off, you know, I don't know, 100 items a week, and they do the photos and you do the listings. Now you're pumping out 100 listings a week. Would it be worthwhile? I mean, if you got to pay that person, you know, $400 a week, is it worth that much to you? I mean, it could be. I don't know. I mean, I've never gone down that route because to me, again, it's a control thing for me. I don't know if I could give up that much control.
Right.
You know, and also, I mean, it's not like I don't sit around on my butt, you know, 80% of the day anyway. I could be motivating myself. So.
My point was, it's not a one size fits all kind of deal, you know?
No. I mean, you know, VAs are great for Amazon. They're not so great for eBay. And again, do you want that? I mean, there's a lot of responsibility. You know, you don't feel like working today, but your employee shows up. Guess what? You're working today. Yeah. I mean, that's the negative side of it. You know, I mean, you gotta look at that. The responsibility with that is huge. I mean, you know, business, you know, sales suck. Still got to pay that guy that showed up every day.
Right.
I mean,
And the example that I gave, now keep in mind, there are a lot of people, because they have other things going on, they have real estate or other things going on that sort of eBay's like, I mean, even if Harlan wanted to pay a teenager they always joke about on Beer to Picker, if he wanted to pay someone $50 to help him, that's not going to break them. And it might just be a matter of whatever he assigns to them to do. But like yourself, Eric, and Jason, and even myself, I'm a one person, and I wouldn't want to have an employee now because I'm not doing the volume, and like you said, it's got to be justified. You got to be doing a certain amount of sales. I mean, I know in owning a restaurant before, and you know what it took, and you know sometimes people like, oh, you're busy, you did $2,000 today, and I'd say, yeah, but I paid $800 out in wages, and the same thing goes with with this type, because this is a business. None of us, I don't think, are I mean, except for, Harlan, you don't look at it. You have your full-time job, but obviously you still want to make money doing this on the side. You're not willing to just waste money and lose money doing it.
Right.
Why don't you explain to the people that don't know? And I'll be honest, I don't fully know. I just assume it's a bunch of resellers hanging out at eBay. What is eBay Open exactly? And do you know, is there a list of things that they do every day? And explain a little bit to the people that are watching what eBay Open is.
Yeah, it's a 3-day event. It's next week. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. There is an app that if you're going to eBay Open, you can download it and type your name in it, and it will come up and show you all the different seminars and stuff. They have a lot of eBay people, eBay execs, big eBay sellers. A lot of them are speaking at different times, and I think that you could actually pick their stuff going on all the time. They have parties you can attend. The ticket price is expensive. It was $350. I think.
But does that $350 include the parties and any type of food, or you pay extra for that? Oh, okay.
It includes the parties, the food. I think it includes some lunch, some of your supper or dinner, whatever you want to call it. And I need to start looking. I probably would start looking at it on the way out there to figure out what I want to go to. But the main reason, I bought the ticket. I didn't get in the first time. I put my name on the wait list. I actually got in through the wait list, and I was actually thinking about selling my ticket, but they said you couldn't. So, because I'm more interested in going out there and just hanging out with other like-minded people and stuff.
Is this your first time out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
was going to go.
Days, really. It don't start till like Tuesday afternoon, really.
Right. Now, anybody else on the panel has ever been to eBay Open?
No. eBay is actually pretty good. They film all the lectures and all that stuff, and then they'll email out a link to everybody. I'm sure it comes out at least once a year where they've got all the lectures and everything, all the videos. You can actually go to a website and watch all the videos. But it's not the same as the experience. I mean, that's the whole point about going out there, is for the experience. And you're in Vegas, and you're tied up for eBay for 8 hours a day. Gives you the more time to do other stuff too. So,
and there's going to be a lot of creators that are out there. They're going to be going live every 3.5 minutes too. So.
Yeah, if you're out there for eBay and you walk down through someplace, you're going to be on somebody's video. I mean, so. And there's a lot of people a lot of the bigger channels have meetups and greetings and stuff like that, where it's a chance for you to meet some of the guys that are 100, 200,000 subscribers. They'll be out there and doing their own little things and stuff. So
I'd like to do it one day, but I don't fly, so it's a little tough.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of flying too, but
it's nice thing is for us on the East Coast, we leave at 7:00 at night. We'll get there at 7:00 at night. I mean, it's kind of a cool thing, but
all you have to do is buy the ticket, walk up the steps, sit in the chair, and you're there in no time. You can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it.
I mean, if you've never been to Vegas, it's an experience in itself. So, I mean, just going to Vegas is cool. I mean, you don't have to be a gambler or anything like that. You like to people watch, or there's lots of things to do in Vegas that are not gambling related. So,
and some of them are legal too.
Hey, Jay, Sue says we can go. She said but maybe next year we can go on a train for 5 days.
I'm not sure I want to go on a train either.
Oh my God! Come on, Jason.
Trains are slow.
I don't like transportation that much. I mean, I've been on a few cruise ships, and even those, I'm more nervous most of the time.
Well, maybe we'll rent a U-Haul. We'll drive out.
About a
crash, you're not going to feel a thing.
I always say, you know what? If you're that afraid, make sure you sit in the last seat. That way, you're the last one alive when the plane goes down.
Right.
There was some airline a couple of days ago that they put this trivia and stuff out there, and they actually, one of the things was they told you the best place to sit on a plane in case the plane caught on fire. And somebody got in trouble for that. They're like, we shouldn't have put that fact out on the, because everybody's like, well, fire on a plane? What? Somebody didn't think that one through.
You just got to sit by the wing so you can pull the old Shatner. There's something on the wing thing going on. So
Yeah, no, I can't. Even like amusement park rides, forget it. Nope. No way.
Yeah, I don't mind flying. That I kind of enjoy it actually.
I've done like the little like baby roller coaster, like the little minecart one. I got off that and I was like shaking like a leaf.
The one that's like 3 feet in the air?
Yeah.
The worst thing is I can see that in my mind now.
I don't do roller coasters. I'm not a thrill seeker, so I don't do roller coasters. And my kids finally talked me into getting on one. And so you go down to Kings Island, which is an amusement park here in Ohio, and they drag me onto the mine coaster one. And this thing beats the crap out of you. And I get off the thing, and I'm like, well, that's not any fun. I mean, I'm sore. I mean, my neck's the way. They go, well, the small ones are always worse. They beat you up a lot worse. You got to ride the big ones. I'm like, I don't want to ride the big ones. Now my son follows after me. We went to Dollywood last year, and I said, hey, buddy, you want to go ride that roller coaster? No, and he's not going to go, nah, we'll die. I'm like, hey, cool. I'm good with that.
The old wood roller coasters are the ones that will beat you to death.
Yeah.
Yep.
Six Flags, because you're sitting up there. The back only comes up to halfway up your back, so you're sitting there. You're just getting beat up. They're awful.
Yeah. See, I'm the guy that always like sits there and holds everyone's stuff while they go on.
Nah.
The camera, the purses, whatever.
Speaking of purses, Jason, what happened to your hat from last week? That nice pink hat that you had. Did your wife find out you wore it? And then, because we didn't have no ladies on again this week. Anita and Kimberly will be back next week. So you're just going to wear it on the weeks that we have the ladies here with us, or what? What's going on?
Yeah, it's a ladies' night thing. I'm not wearing that all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just confirming.
Yeah. See, I think one of my biggest problems was I was at Great Adventure one year on opening day, and we were going on this roller coaster, and it got to the very top, and then it broke down, and I was stuck there teetering at the very top for like,
Wow.
I don't know, like an hour. I'm sure it was less, but after that, I can't do it.
I don't blame you. Yeah. I remember when I was younger and I went on the one, they look like hot air balloons, and they hold 4 people, and you go up and they spin around, and then they get to a certain angle where they could spin around, and then they go the opposite. I spun around 3 times, and I'm like, put me down. And my son was probably only 3 or 4, and my wife was with me, and she's like shaking her head at me like, what an idiot, But when I go on ride, it's weird because I'll go on the water rides that will drop 90 feet, but I won't go on the roller coasters either. It just doesn't feel natural to have that little narrow thing. No, I don't do it. This is why I'm a big fan of actually Disney World, because there's a lot of corny rides there. Harlan, what are you laughing at?
Kimmy said y'all are a bunch of sissy lalas.
Yes, we are.
Oh no, I can't do the teacups either. Those get me dizzy.
Anything that goes in a circle, I cannot do. But I can do roller coasters, teacups.
So I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I don't like that feel. I used to catch shoplifters for a living, and that adrenaline rush is not fun. So I mean, I don't like doing that, and I got used to that. So
yeah, see, I like the funnel cake guy. That's like what it must be.
Is that a ride? That's next to the guy that sells the caramel and candy apples?
It's the park bench that's right next to the funnel cake.
That's right.
Funnel cake, right?
If I'm really adventurous, I'll use the garbage can.
Sit there on the plate.
You bring your keyboard with you when you go there?
They've got noise ordinances.
I don't mind the water log rides. I can deal with those as long as the angle's not too bad. I took Luke on one, and that was a rough angle on that one, so he's kind of not good on that anymore. He wanted to do the pirate ship one, and he learned that he didn't like that one either. So he's pretty much done with rides for the most part. So I'm good with that. We can hang. So
now, what do they do? I've never been to Vegas. I actually used to play Texas Hold'em years ago, and I won a seat to go out there and play in a big game, but I just couldn't justify going by myself and spending $1,000 in transportation in a hotel. So we went to Florida as a family. And do they have amusement parks and stuff for the families in Vegas? Or
there's a lot of rides out there, but you get more of the high end rides where it's like it's like the projection rides where they do the projection, but you're also in like last time when I did the Star Trek ride where they put you in the shuttlecraft model and then they had the screen projecting, so it's like the same thing. I don't know if it's still there. I assume it is. The roller coaster on top of the Stratosphere Towers there. No, it's not there anymore.
They took the roller coaster off because the bolts were coming out of the top of the Stratosphere.
Yeah, that's not fun. You're up 600-700 feet.
So that's gone. But there's a couple more. The one that I rode, and I was not going to ride it. Me and my wife at the time, we took our kids a long time ago. There's a ride where you get on this little, it looks like a little roller coaster type thing. And it actually goes off the edge of the building and drops. And then the car you're in actually starts falling down to the end and stops. And then it pulls you back up and you lift up and you go back.
Is that on the Stratosphere?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
So, I did it, and I was.
No.
The kids are out there in line. They're all excited, and me and my wife were standing there, and there was people looking at them, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, who are the awful parents that's making those kids ride that by themselves?" And I'm like, "Damn it! Now I gotta go. Now I gotta go get in line."
No, I mean, yeah, stress retire. I mean, that's a scary one. I mean, the restaurant's great. You go up to the restaurant. I remember I went several years ago. I went to the restaurant, and they sit you at the sit down at your table, and you realize that because it's like a saucer shaped restaurant, and if you're not careful, you realize your chair is actually on the glass, and you can look straight down. So I'm like scooted my chair over, so at least I'm on the table. And then you go up to the top, and they got the observatory up there. And when I went there, they had the roller coaster, and then they had the little shoot up thing, the little power tower thing where they shoot you up and drops you down and shoot you back up. But yeah, I'd heard them talk about doing something different up there, but I'm like, I did it once. I'm not going back. So
there's one that actually it drops you over and you're spinning the edge, I think, and it actually opens up like this, and you're sitting there, and all of a sudden you lean backwards, so you're looking straight down at the ground. And I forgot how many stories high that is.
It's huge. I mean, your ears pop when you go up in the elevator. I know that much. I mean,
it's way up there. And
it's probably what 500-600 feet. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how big it is, but
I don't know. It's up there. They also have the roller coaster at New York, and then they've got I think Adam put in there. They have the big Ferris wheel about halfway down the strip.
Hey, Anita.
Yeah, people were asking where Anita was. Anita will be with us next week, and Kimberly is supposed to be too. So yes, and Anita, everybody's got to remember Anita's on California time also, but she just stopped in the room, and I'm trying to do the best I can to pay attention to the chat and answer people's question. There was a question earlier. A couple people had asked, why didn't we use StreamYard tonight? And I mentioned that when we first started. We're just doing. We like StreamYard, certain aspects of it when there's probably 2 to 4 people, but when you start having 5 or 6, and one of the things the banners cover the faces, so we're just doing both. We did Google Hangouts this week to see how and get people's feedback and comment on it. So we're going to do what we think will work. I do like StreamYard as far as if there's 2 people, it has them both being at the same time. The only drawback is if somebody needs to take a break or I get accused sometimes of not smiling all the time because I'm paying attention to the chat. So when you have StreamYard, the camera is focused on everybody all at the same time, where Google Hangouts, it only focuses on you when you talk. To be honest, Google Hangouts tonight seem to be running very smooth. So I really don't have any complaints about it tonight.
It's got 10 days and it's gone.
Well, there was something, before we went live. Did you hear me say that about?
Yeah, something else is coming up.
YouTube webcam or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Google's not going to get rid of something without replacing it with something else. I mean, they're not just going to give that business away, because I mean, they're obviously, StreamYard is free right now. Was it the other one, Zoom or whatever it is? There's a fee for that one. All these guys, it's like when was it Posh or one of the places that when they start introduce something, they give it to free, get you used to it, and then they're going to start charging for it. So that's what's going to happen is everybody's going to have to pay to use an off Google streaming service, but Google's going to do it for free, or they maybe even start charging for it. I mean, but yeah, they're not going to get rid of something without replacing it with something else. So.
Right.
I don't mind Google Hangouts. I wish they add a little bit of production value for us guys that like to do YouTube content, because it would be nice to put a logo in the corner or a little banner up that doesn't chop people's faces off that says, hey, subscribe to Nameless Picker's channel. And one of the features I do like is having the ability on StreamYard to highlight a person's comment because it seems like they're part of the show. And then I
don't like that.
Yeah.
To me, because anything that you do on the screen to me is distracting. I
know, and
and especially if you're saying you have a thought, whatever, and then something pops up, you automatically read it, and it just chops up the whole.
I know.
And everything, and you lose that. That's my opinion. I don't really care for it. So
right, and that has happened to me. I'll be honest, where like we have the Google back group chat, and if someone types something in there and you're not paying attention, and all of a sudden, you know, you get distracted by it. I could see that. The only thing, like I said, I think some people like that interaction as far as the people that are watching on the side and stuff. So it's too bad they couldn't kind of put those things together. And then like if you hosted the show, you have the option of not, you know, putting those banners on, or they should make what I like to see is maybe make smaller, where you could just keep a banner on the bottom that doesn't pop up people's faces.
Don't get me wrong. I watched. I can't remember who was doing it. It might have been Kimberly. I can't remember. Somebody was doing one of the YouTube auctions using StreamYard, and I liked having the banner there because they were putting up how much the shipping was going to be for that item, and left it up there. That was actually good. I like that because, you know, that's one of the things that always gets lost in the bidding and the chats and everything is how much is this going to cost me to ship, or I wasn't paying attention. I didn't hear it. Now, I mean, there's going to be good and bad with everything, but for just a regular show, I like Hangouts. I always have, but we'll see what, you know, whatever they replace it with, you know, play with it and see what it is and deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, because we were talking about I did a postcards from the past show where we talk about cards that are sold and this and that. And I think what I like, one thing I've noticed with the StreamYard is the ability to hold something up and it stays in focus. Where sometimes with Google Hangouts, again, if you're holding something up and not talking, it's being lost. It's because the screen is bouncing so fast. So there's good and pluses. I'll play around with it and see what what the viewers like and what even my co-panelists are comfortable with, and try to be conscientious of if we're doing certain things at times. But because part of even doing the show, I want to make sure that when people are on the show, that we're pushing their YouTube channels too. Even though I'm the host, without doing this by myself wouldn't be fun. Bringing on these guys and other guests and stuff, that's what for me makes it fun and has the information out there. Jason, what's going on? I got a message from you earlier today. It sounds like you went and bought something. More keyboards, or?
Yeah, I bought a bunch of stuff. Tools and machine parts and stuff. I'm doing pickups all this week. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's like anything else. I mean, I guess it's hot and cold. Sometimes you don't buy anything for a month, and then now your butt's getting kicked. I mean,
speaking of clicky keyboards, my brother got about 25 IBM mechanical keyboards for free the other day.
Nice when somebody hands you about $2,000 worth of stuff. Just take this off my hands for me.
Oh, he got Apple computers. He got some of them had Apple cards that goes in the computers. What are you doing?
I'm just typing.
He had them. They were still in the box and still wrapped in plastic.
Nice.
From back in the 80s.
Where did you get them?
All for free.
Wow. Scott bought a bunch of keyboards when he came through Pennsylvania, and me and him, Jason, met up at that surplus store that was closing down. I don't know what kind they were. We were so damn busy and doing our own little things that I didn't ask him what kind they were. But he got. I don't know if he had told you that, Harlan, about the keyboards he had gotten.
Mm-mm. No, he didn't.
Yeah. Jason actually was coming. It was down in an area in the Lehigh Valley that I grew up. So it was funny to kind of see a familiar town to be coming in. Now, was that online auction stuff, Jason, or?
A mixture of online auction and eBay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you bought stuff on eBay and then just came down and picked things up?
Yeah, I do that often, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think this week I bought 3 items on eBay.
That picked up?
2 of them I have to pick up, and one's being shipped.
And you're going to Chicopee, Massachusetts for one of them?
Yeah, I'm going to Massachusetts and New York this week.
Cool.
And I was in northern PA today picking up stuff. So I've
Yeah,
been pretty busy.
Yeah, you were in my not where I live right now, but where basically I grew up. A nice little Italian town. Not much around, but a small little Italian town. Eric, what do you got there behind you? Is this some new purchase that you bought? Those green and yellow?
But I'm just starting to get around to it. But these are train slides, boxes of slides of trains. Decided to break into my stash and start listing them. I sold 5 boxes tonight already, so I only listed 14 boxes yesterday. Sold 5 of them today, and the guy wants me to. He says he's going to keep an eye out because he collects this type of stuff. So he'll probably be buying a lot from me. I've got 200 boxes.
Wow. How has eBay been doing for you guys? This, I mean, we're still midway in the summer, but I mean, for July so far.
I don't seem to have a problem. I mean, I think I'm around 5,000 for the last 30 days.
Is that a good average?
That's about average. I mean, it's actually not. I mean, not 49.32 for the last 30 days. I mean, actually, June is a little slower for me than July typically. So, but again, it's all about how much work I put into it. If I don't list, I don't sell. I mean, it's just like anything else. I'm a firm believer summer slowdown is more self-inflicted than anything. I think there is less.
It's amazing that there's that direct correlation between the two.
Yeah, I mean, because I think people go on vacation, their kids get out of school, they're busy doing family stuff. You don't have enough time you don't focus on your business the way you do when it's dark out in the wintertime, and you like 5 o'clock dark, and so I might as well go down and start listing. I personally think that's what the summer slowdown is more related to than people aren't buying, because I think people are buying all the time anyway.
Right. I'll be honest, I have to agree with that, because I was talking with my wife earlier, and I said, I kind of get caught up now. She has the ability to have off on the weekends because of the college and the students that are willing to work. She's a food manager, and so on the weekends we're trying to do personal things. I mean, I'm going sourcing, like stopping at flea market stuff, but I'm not really listing much. And then when I do sell a whole bunch of stuff over the weekends, I scramble Monday morning to get all that stuff out for Monday. But yeah, I do have to up my listing game too. I mean, I have tons of stuff that.
I mean, if you want to stop the summer slowdown, just set yourself a listing goal. I mean, just list 10 items a day.
Right.
If you just did that, if you listed 10 items a day, and that's 300 items a month, I guarantee you'll sell 75 items a month at least off of what you listed. And then the other things you have in your store will also start picking up and selling. You won't see a summer slowdown, but we all take that time and I'm as guilty as anybody else. I mean, oh man, I just don't feel like listening to it, or I'm busy doing stuff, and I don't list for 3 or 4 days, and you see the difference in your sales. I've got 2,200 items in my store, so I don't see a big drop down like somebody's got 400 items in their store. Because I've got a bigger variety, more to choose from. I expect to sell 5 or 6, 7 items a day. But there are days that I'll sell 1 or 2 items. There's days I don't get a single sale. I mean, those are rare, but if I do that, if I look back and say, when's the last time I listed? If my graph starts to go down, and I go, when's the last time I listed? And because you get busy, you start doing stuff, and you're like, well, crap, I haven't listed for 4 days. No wonder my sales are slowing down.
Yeah. Hey, I want to real quickly acknowledge Dino Mack. He is a person that I think this is the first time I've ever seen him type something in a chat. He was one of our winners about 2 weeks ago when I hit the 1,072, and he sent me a real nice email that he had saw that, and I had commented that, I didn't know who he was because I'd never seen him. He says he listens a lot at work, and he actually requested that I donate his to a veteran. So his prize is being donated to a vet. So I really appreciate that. It's a great people that come and follow me. So I just wanted to point that out. And thanks for following us. There's always a usual people, but there's you see 42 people watching now, and maybe 15 people are chatting, but there's people that are listening in the background while at work and enjoying our company. So I appreciate it, and thank you, Dino.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's basically. I mean, Tommy Bernhardt has the same kind of goal. He sets dollar goals. I'm going to list $300 a day. You know, that's another way to look at it. Everybody has different ways of setting yourself up for success. You know, I mean, if you know, I've done them both. I've said, you know, I'm going to list $1,000 today, so I'm not going to stop until I've listed $1,000 worth of retail stuff. But I prefer doing the numbers game. It's easier for me to do the numbers game. You know, I like to go back and say, oh, how many I list? I listed the other day. I listed 57 or 58 items in one day. I mean, it's not difficult if you have a process in place and you're listing a lot of like items. Last night I listed 14 items. I mean, today I haven't done any listing today. I've been actually running around and doing a bunch of stuff today. So, you know, I'm not perfect. Nobody is. So,
as usual, I'm the complete opposite. Right now, I'm running at about 250 drafts.
How are you making out with that warehouse? Are you back in it yet, Jason?
Yeah, the air conditioner is working now.
And it's going to get fuller and fuller and fuller.
Yeah, I got to squeeze another few loads of stuff in there this week. I need to start selling stuff. I've been out of the game for, weeks now because the AC was out and I just didn't want to work in the heat.
Right.
That's no fun.
Harlan, how many listings do you typically have on eBay? And what percentage of eBay and that auction stuff you were doing, like for your reselling stuff?
Past couple of months, I've been mainly auction stuff. The 3 weeks leading up to going to Austin, Texas, I had 40 hours overtime in those 3 weeks. And like this week, I've got 15 hours overtime. So most of my time in the past month and a half has just been spent on focusing on getting items to the auction, because by the time I get home, or just like the other night, I came home, I worked till midnight after I got home the other night. So yeah, if I did not have my auction right now, I would be kind of out of the game.
Right. Now, do you have help when you do eBay? Do you have someone helping you? Like my son will help me some, my 18-year-old. He'll help me get some things together as far as not so much the last 2 weeks because he started college early. But he does help me some and even try to find things. But are you doing one-man army or?
Yeah, it's just me. My daughter, she's here about maybe half the time, I guess. And she sells some stuff on Poshmark, but no, it's all my stuff is just me. My son's off at college. So just me. Oh my God. The bearded picker must be on some drops tonight.
What's going on? Oh yeah. Well, see, if we had StreamYard tonight, I would be able to highlight that and maybe put your phone number, Harlan.
Well, I'm glad we're not on StreamYard tonight.
Nice.
Boy. Craig, do you do all your stuff by yourself, or does the family help you at all?
I do it all myself.
Yeah. And what are you primarily selling on eBay?
What do I primarily sell, or what? What'd you say?
Yeah, I mean, do you sell a variety of stuff, or do you try to? I remember a couple weeks ago you kept posting your kind of rubbing it in. You got those Windows. What was it? Windows 98.
Yep, they were free. Got over $40 a piece for them.
That was a good video.
Yeah. But I sell, primarily on eBay, but I do a lot on Facebook Marketplace with some larger items, which are nice.
He sells Dixie cups and bedpans, whatever he can get at the home over there.
Do what? You need to type that in the chat so I can hear you.
Yeah. He's got his puppy in his lap now, so we're gonna excuse him for time. This is the most that Jason has talked the whole night. So the dog got him to talk. Patdees couldn't.
Puppy love.
Jason, you didn't get into the wine cooler over there, did you?
No.
Jason doesn't drink wine coolers. He's a Zima man.
I'm sorry.
I don't like Zima, actually. No, I like the hard lemonade, though.
So Scott and Kimmy's talking about the shirt that I found today at the yard sale. So I go in there, I see these shirts, and the first thing that I see, hold on, let me get this folded. First thing that I see on this shirt. That's all I saw was hose. And I'm
Obviously
like,
a farmer shirt, right?
yeah. So I was like, I said, uh-oh, what is this? What does this say? It's boats and hose. It's like, really? 50 cents. Okay.
That's a 50-cent shirt.
That's a 50-cent shirt.
Now, is that an item that you're going to resell or keep for yourself?
I may just wear it. I don't know. It's a conversation piece.
There you go.
That was funny. Got that and got the old El Guapo.
Ah, nice. Did you get a plethora of shirts by any chance?
Plethora.
Good one.
So, Eric, what's going on with you this weekend?
Actually, I'm not really doing anything right now. I've got some plans for the week after next. But for the most part, it's just kind of listing. I'm really just trying to pump out some listings. I've got some stuff that I've had for just a little bit too long that I really need to start banging out, and I'm trying to raise, some quick money. So I'm going to be doing that. Plus, like I said, I got to build my live auction this week too. So
when you do your live auctions, you only do them once a month?
Yeah, just once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got an arrangement with because I mean, they're not cheap. I mean, I typically make somewhere between 1,000. I mean, my end of the deal is somewhere between 1,000 and 1,700. I got 1,700 on the last auction.
Wow.
That was 140 items. But I don't put junk out there. I do decent stuff too. So I mean, people are you start to build a reputation for having good stuff at decent prices. So I try to do that, and that's just money that, I still got to claim it on my taxes and everything, but I'm not paying fees on or anything like that. I mean, there's a cut from the auctioneer, of course, but
right.
Worth it to me. Every penny of it's worth it to me. I could do it myself. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if I wanted to, I could actually contract with one of these online auction companies, go out, take the photos, build the listings, put it up there, keep all the money. You pay there's the auctioneer's cut, and then there's a 10% buyer's premium that goes to the live auction company, the online auction company. So they get that part of it. So you have to pay that to them. But I could do that myself. But if I'm going to do that, I might as well just put it on eBay. So I don't want to put this stuff on eBay. So I don't want to do that extra work. So I'd rather just work 2 days a month on that type of stuff. So that's pretty much what I'll be doing this week, because it's more than just the 8 hours of shooting the photos. I mean, I got to set the whole thing up beforehand. So Monday, that's what I'll do is I'll be in my garage. After I do my shipping, I'll be out in my garage just setting the whole thing up so it's ready to have the pictures taken. So that might take me 3 or 4 hours too.
Yeah.
So it's just another method of raising money. I mean, I could get a job or something if I wanted. If I just needed the cash, but I like doing this stuff too much. So,
have you ever looked at the Van Massey auction and kind of figured out how much money runs through that place?
I've never sat down and actually started to add it up. But I mean, I've watched some of those auctions from beginning to end, and they make a boatload of money.
Because you figure they're bringing in 45% of whatever.
Well, you think about 45%, and most of the ones I've watched are 1,500 items. And if you figure 1,400 or 1,500 items, and the average price, say they get $5 an item, I mean, 1,400 items, that's $8,000-9,000 a week, and they're getting 45% of that. I mean, that's $4 or $5 grand, and they're working 2 days a week. I mean, that whole deal. So I mean, it's a good business, and a lot of auction companies are starting to do that because there's no cost of setting up an auction, renting a hall, having a food person there, having 6 or 7 people working. You got the auctioneer, you got the runners, you got the ticket taker, you got the the cashiers. I mean, there's a lot of money that goes into setting up auctions. I have a friend of mine that's an auctioneer, and he rented a big hall and used to run auctions, and I used to run stuff through it, and he got out of it, and he's strictly online now. He uses proxy bid. He says, I can do 10 auctions a month for $250 now. I have no cost. I still have to pay my runners on pickup day, but that's it. And that's usually 4 or 5 hours, that he runs his pickups, because not only are they picking up, they're also doing the clean out and everything too. So,
I'm curious. I'm curious on the people that are listening. There's 43 watching now. It says, we're going to do the 1 and 2, the old Wade. If you guys have done these type of auctions that Eric and Harlan talking about, put a 1. If you guys haven't, put a 2. Now, I'm going to put a 2. I've never done it. So
Yeah.
I'm curious if people, again, 1 if you have done what Harlan and Eric are doing, or 2 if you haven't. So now there'll be a slight delay. 2 start, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's when I first started doing online auctions really started to get big about 6 years ago. And the biggest problem people were having is they were trying to figure out whether or not they were legal, because a lot of people do them that don't have auctioneer licenses, and a lot of the auction companies were like, we don't know if it's legal or not for us to do it, so we're not necessarily going to do it. And like in Ohio, you have to have an auctioneer's license to have an auction house. But you don't have to have an auctioneer's license to be an online auctioneer, because if they did that, then eBay would not be legal. And so that's the biggest thing, because you can run auctions on eBay individually. So it's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of places. Now, there's a couple places you can't do it at. So, and that's the auction commissions have come down and said, we're not going to let that happen. And so, people don't want to fight it out in court. But, it's really good. I mean, if you haven't checked it out, it's a great sourcing opportunity, because you can source from your house. But it's also, like I said, a great way to get rid of stuff too. Because I think we all have huge piles of stuff that came with things we bought that we wanted, that ended up having a lot of extras. And this is a great way to get rid of the extras.
I tell you now, and I have a situation where I had a lady that reached out to me. I don't know. I think she was selling something I bought, and she says, "Oh, I have a lot of stuff. I'll give you." She goes, "We're selling our house in New Jersey, and we're moving to Pennsylvania to the second home. Would you want it?" And because she knows what I do, and a lot of that stuff I could probably do an auction that way.
Well, I mean, think about it this way: if you're a storage unit buyer, you got to have a way to get rid of the stuff. So do you want to go to the flea market, or would you rather just drop it off and somebody else will let them sell it for you? You cherry pick the best out for eBay.
Yeah.
You drop the rest of the stuff off at somebody else, let them sell it.
I watched so many videos on there, and I'm watching them just throw this stuff away, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, that's money! Give it to me! That's so much money you're throwing away."
All my extras go to Patdees72.
I know, and I'm appreciative of that. That's why.
So am I.
With the amount of stuff you have, Pat, I would definitely be talking to some of your local auctioneers, find out if they've got something like that set up. And you could, because again, if you don't mind paying a little bit bigger cut, let them take care of it for you. You're just literally driving up, dropping the stuff off. Peace. I'll pick up my check next week.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what you get, because it's
right.
When I first started doing it here lately, it's because I wanted to make space. I had a 10 by 10 storage unit, and I have a 24 by 25 garage that was just absolutely packed full. And I'm like, okay, I got to get rid of this. The 10 by 10's costing me $120 a month, and I need my garage back. And in 7 months, I've been able to clean out the 10 by 10 and most of my garage. And that put money in my pocket. I've made $6,000 or $7,000 this year doing that.
Kimmy, the question was, type in 1 if you have done what Harlan and Eric have done, or 2 if you haven't done it. And I'll be honest, I think I only saw 4 1s. So everybody who's listening, even Tommy, who seems like by the chat I've seen has experience in this, something he hasn't done. This could be another source of revenue. And like Eric points out, if you don't want to put in an 8-hour day at the flea market and stuff, yeah, you make maybe a little bit more, but you don't know sold at auctions. In other words, the way that they are doing, they are putting stuff together.
You got to be more specific on that one. You didn't tell her what. If you've done what they've done, type 1.
Yeah, the auction.
Was that
auction.
That's a big list.
Have you stole a car? Have you?
Yeah.
No, I was 14, and yeah, the parents' car went out for a ride one night. I don't know what happened, but.
I was reading some of the chat on the side, and it's sometimes entertaining to read some of that. So, Tommy, I appreciate you stopping in. Apparently, you know some of the guys, and based on your comments, so I do appreciate you taking the time to stop in and listen. And you are right. There are people that are doing channels that some aren't putting out this information, and this is why I try to do a Saturday show. We rotate and we do a show on Thursdays between myself, Kimberly, Borderline Hoarders, and Destiny, and we try to do interviews, and then during the week I try to do videos on flea market stuff, and you know, I'm going to get into storage auctions. I've only bought one this year so far, but I did do a video with Jason and Eric when they got a storage unit, and it showed you the kind of the dark side of it, that it is a lot of work, and you can wind up with a lot of garbage that has to be taken over the landfill. But I had a good time doing that video, and Jason was very gracious and gave me a whole bunch of stuff to take that, you know what, he could have said no, throw it away. Because I run into that a lot sometimes. People are stubborn sometimes. No, I'm just going to throw everything away. They're not. They just get stuck in there. They don't know. They're not going to give it away. Stupid. Why would you? You know, like Harlan says, it's money. Why would you throw it in the landfill? And I started recycling when I had a business and saving money. So why throw it away when there's a value that somebody, you know, wants it? So.
I couldn't believe how much money they were charging to throw stuff in the landfill. Mine's free. I can take stuff to my landfill for free.
Yeah, I have to pay here, but it's not much. It's not like we had to pay there. But
I mean, that was hundreds and hundreds, wasn't it? Wasn't it 400 or 500?
Three
and a quarter, wasn't it? Something like that.
That was extreme, though. Rarely do you get a storage unit where you're throwing out that much trash.
Okay.
That was like the extreme.
That was the craziest.
Yeah.
I've never seen a 10 by 10 that we literally threw out 5,000 pounds worth of trash.
That's packed right there.
Yeah. We packed that. I don't know, Harlan, if you saw that video.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, me and Adam. And it took us about 4 hours to pack that, but only about a half an hour to empty it.
Oh yeah.
That was nuts, and that was like.
Pat wasn't even there when we actually unloaded the storage unit. You didn't see the worst of it.
I know. Well, I said that to you guys. It looked like it would be so hot, and the door was so narrow. I kind of was glad because I did the outside stuff when you guys were parked at the warehouse. I don't know. I'll be honest. If I would have, what you guys had to do, I think was much harder than what I had to do.
We were there like, what was it, 9 hours at least?
About 9 hours. Yeah, I think we got there about 11.
I mean, we had Adam run out. We had Adam run out for sandwiches and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think two people could fit through the door at time. It was such a little narrow.
Now it was a little 30-inch doorway, so I mean, it was the first 2 hours we're basically working in the doorway, just creating space to where we could step into the unit. I mean, that's how packed that thing was, and it was packed, floor to ceiling. I mean, it was definitely interesting, and there's good stuff in there. There's a lot of garbage in there, and a lot of just average stuff. So,
right,
yeah.
When I was at when I came out to your state the other day, there was 5 or 6, but it seemed like, I'll be honest, it seemed like things were picked through. It seems like some people went in there and kind of pulled out a couple things that they wanted, and then before they didn't pay their bill no more. And
well, that's pretty common with storage units. Very rarely do you find a storage unit that somebody didn't realize they were going to probably lose. I mean, a lot of storage units say, I got to get my good stuff out of there, and then I'll if I can pay for it, I can pay for it. But again, the key with that is not everybody understands what's worth money. They don't. I got to get my grandmother's glasses out of here. Or the china, which nobody really wants to mess with. But the cool old toys that in the kids' toy box is actually where the money's at. I mean, it's just things like that. You just never know, what you're going to find. That's what storage unit buying is so interesting and so fun. Is it's all about the mystery. I mean, very rarely do you buy a storage unit going, yeah, I'm going to make $100,000 on the storage unit, because you just don't know.
Right.
There's no guarantees of nothing, but it's the mystery buy. To buy storage units to me is more fun than it is to actually try to buy it to make money.
Hey, Jason, did you catch Tommy's question? Sorry if I missed, what the money worth of time and energy was there something I missed, or was he just talking about?
Oh, he might have been talking about the one I bought. If that's the case, I don't know. I mean, it was a lot of work, but damn, if I didn't have a lot of fun.
It was a blast. I mean, it really was. But
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the most money maker. I mean, I'll do okay, but
I mean, all in were
the-
$1,500, $1,600 all in by the time you get down to it, and then there's easily that much in some of the better stuff, and then if you start looking at the $10 items, yeah, there's double money easily on it, maybe triple, but that's again depends on how deep you want to go into the selling but like I said, it's more of a fun thing because you can spend your time selling $10 items, or you can spend your time selling $150 items. So it's also one of those things where you build up a little bit of inventory, and then you got to decide, okay, where's the best thing for me. So
plus I got a few pieces for my collection, so I'm happy about that.
Yep.
I was at the auction that I was at the other day. A guy took out there was a guy there. He bought a big stretch limo that was like a Suburban for $2,500, and that's what he brought to the auction. And he picked out the stuff that he wanted, and then he was trying to talk Jeremy into George into taking what they had because they donate stuff for charity or something like that. And he says to me, "Do you want anything?" I wasn't gonna, but this was on the edge of the thing. It was on it, and I like Christmas, so I said, "Oh, can I have that?" And I took this. So it's a musical box Santa, and I like Christmas. So the guy gave it to me for free. So this is what I brought home from Ohio. I didn't buy anything. I had no intentions of buying anything because I drove my car out there. But they gave me a lot of insight on the business and what goes through and create some YouTube content for it. And I had a good time. But I just wanted to show that's what I came home with.
I just wanted to add on the storage unit thing. That's not really my core business. I do that kind of for fun. So.
Right.
Like, every once in a while I buy one, and it just, I don't know, sometimes it can be just so fun digging through other people's stuff, I have to admit. You find the weirdest stuff.
Reading the manifest?
Oh, that's right. There was that manifesto. Forgot about that.
We found probably several boxes of all loose paper. A guy had created like a diary, and it wasn't like in a book. It was all loose. Every day he wrote down everything he did. Who knows how long, because it was a lot of pieces of paper. But,
yeah, I mean, it was every bit of 15 inches tall, a loose leaf, and
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It was a little bit odd. So the guy was 96 years old or something like that. So I mean,
wow. Yeah, once I get caught up at work, I want to buy a storage unit, mainly just to see how much stuff I could pull out and take to auction.
And
that's a. I mean, if Jason has something like Van Massey up near him, I mean, that would be easy money for. I mean, just take a load up once a week and drop it all off. So,
yeah,
I mean, it'd be simple to turn that into cash. And that's, again, it's like anything else. If you buy a storage unit, how are you going to get rid of everything? Because not everything's going to go on eBay. So are you going to throw it away? You got to take it to a flea market. You're going to take it to an auction. You're going to donate it. I mean, whatever you're going to do with it, you got to have a plan, because you can't go into a storage unit buy a 10 by 10 and go, oh, I'll figure it out later. Because that 10 by 10 filled up a 17-foot U-Haul, and it was shutting the door. We were holding the stuff back while we were shutting the door. So
yeah,
I've got a big dumpster at my work. I empty twice a week, so that would get rid of some of my stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, for me, it's more for fun. I take most of it and just toss it and just keep the stuff I want to sell or that I think has decent value. And by toss, I mean, a lot of it goes to Goodwill and stuff. When we did that garbage haul, it's because that stuff was literally garbage.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're getting down to the last couple minutes. What I want to do is give you guys the opportunity to, if you want to plug something that's coming up. If you, I know Harlan, you're going to eBay Open. Are you going to be doing a bunch of? So we'll start with our special guest, Harlan. You're going to be going live from Vegas.
Oh yeah, I'll go live around some of the events at eBay Open. Kind of show people, probably the inside, probably even some of the what do you call it, the talking thing where they've got the executives and stuff. But fun part is just going to be walking down the strip, down Fremont Street. So there'll be a lot of entertaining stuff out there this week. So if you're not going to Vegas and you want to feel like you're in Vegas, then stay tuned. Hit the bell. If you're not subscribed to me, and you want to subscribe. If you're subscribed and have not hit the bell next to my name, the bell lets you know when somebody goes live or if they're going live in the future. So,
and what if you want to unsubscribe?
There is no option for that.
That only works on Patdees channel.
Okay, Craig, you're up next. I know you started. I think it was a week or two ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys are doing a mid-morning chat show.
We started about a month ago. 9 o'clock in the morning Central Time.
Okay.
Goes between my channel, Derek, NASCAR Man 3345.
Okay, so that you rotated. I saw last week. It seemed like you were doing a bunch of shows. I wasn't sure how that worked.
Yep. Oh, it's on Anthony Pittsburgh and then Tommy the Bargain Effect. We rotate between the four. Will be on my channel Monday and Friday next week. It's a lot of fun.
Okay. And Eric?
Probably put out a what I sold video. I mean, I haven't done much videoing just because I've been working the business harder. So that's the negative of YouTube. It takes, I mean, that's time away from something else you're doing. So, but I haven't done a video in a while, and probably do what I sold. And we may end up doing maybe a haul video or something here with all the pickups and everything that's going on this week.
Okay.
So we'll see. I mean, it's just tough. Like I said, subscribe to my channel if you'd like. I mean, I'll put out videos when I can. I just, I work my business hard, and YouTube is not, the focus of my business. So.
Right. And me and Eric, I'm hoping to coordinate something the next week or two to do another postcard. We an interest in that, and I enjoy it. I'll be honest. Last time we did one, I did it with Jason actually, with like 5 minutes notice, and one of the viewers, Lynn B, bought one of the cards, which was very nice, to have a viewer. Now, Jason, you're probably going to type what you're going to do, right? So we'll just have to look at it. All right. Wow, that was a little fast.
Oh, I was like, "Oh, you okay there, boy?" It was a big yawn. All I gotta say is, can I talk?
No, even the dog is telling you to type.
He wants to go outside. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I hope to do like some haul videos soon because I'm buying a lot of stuff, getting a lot of really great and interesting tools. So I just haven't had a chance to put it together yet, but we'll hopefully do that this week, at least some of it.
Now I have, as everybody knows, I do the Saturday late show with these guys. Now next week we're going to do something special. I'm asking every panelist that is going to be on the show next week to pick an item that they have sold on eBay in the last month. And then we're going to do a little game where every like 10 or 15 minutes we'll give away a $10 cash prize through PayPal. Whoever can guess what that item sold for. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'll be honest, 3 weeks ago we hit our 1,000 subscribers. And as of today's show, we've hit all our watch time. So so we should be going forward, start to monetize. Not that, I still have a small channel. I'm growing as I do these collabs with other people. Close to, I think it was 1170 when I looked at it before the show started. So, at the end of the day, maybe I'll make $50 or $60 a month, but hey, it helps pay the internet. And as you guys know, I did have some internet issues that I just had to upgrade. So that's about what my internet cost me a month, about $60, $65. So even if it all sets that cost, it's appreciated. Monday I have a video coming out about thrifting, and I have then Tuesday I have a video coming out with my experience with What the Hails, and so I'll be doing that. And I want to mention real quick is this coming week Thursday night, Kimberly Borderline Hoarder is going to be hosting the show, and she's going to have Dwayne from Mothership Products, so she'll be on there. Anybody who wants to leave a comment below, I always respond to everybody. I do appreciate everybody that does support this show. It's this show for me has been the most successful as far as all my stuff. I have people that are in YouTube land that are content creators, and they're telling me to kind of limit yourself to how much live you go because you got to create content that people want to watch. meaning edited stuff. Unfortunately, sometimes edited stuff takes more time. If it's a 25-minute edited video, you're putting in 3 or 4 hours into it. But I do realize the value of doing those, and I am going to do those. I try to do about 5 things a week. So, but I want to thank Harlan for taking the time to come on and reveal. I mean, to be honest, nothing I never knew about. So I think, I think there was 9 or 10 twos in the side chat that everybody has an opportunity for that they call their death piles or stuff. Now, if maybe clothes and stuff like that won't work, you got to find out from your local auctioneer the things you're going to take. But there is plenty of stuff out there that you could take to a local auction house to sell and make money. And that's one of the reasons why I do this channel, is to put the information out there for people to make money, because I'm learning from it and I'm hoping to benefit from it. And if other people benefit from it, they'll come back every week. So thanks, Harlan, for coming on the show this week.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it.
Definitely want to thank Mr. Clean over there.
Have fun in Vegas.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
It took him. It took him.
Right.
Where are you staying at in Vegas?
I'm staying at the Luxor, which is the pyramid.
Yeah.
I waited too much to get in Mandalay Bay. They wanted like $200 a night, so I got a flight and 5 nights at the Luxor for $850. So it's
That's not bad. Yeah.
Do you need Uber Eats, buddy? I'll stop over.
Yeah. Come on, fly on in.
Make sure you take your coupons with you.
Yeah,
That's right. And it's nice to see Harlan coming out of his shell. He's doing YouTube. He's finally, one weekend he's wearing a clown mask. Now he's not wearing his hat. There's a lot of sides of Harlan that we're finding out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now you got to get Scott to dress up a little bit. Maybe have him dress up for Halloween or something.
All right, he'll probably do it. Give him some drops, and he's good to go.
There you go. On that note, guys, I appreciate everybody watching. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you again next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Good night.